Hello, my name is Honor DeLauren, and I'm going to quickly show you how to use the Muse Brain program I did on Matlab. So first you need to have Matlab, of course. So it works on 2018A under OS 6, and I tested it also under 2017B on Windows. It probably works with other versions. I'll talk about that in a few minutes. So, um, so Muse Brain invites you to select a file. There's a file that's included in the archive, so you can just select this one. Otherwise, you have to download the Muse Monitor application for iOS or for Android to collect data on your Muse file. This Muse Monitor doesn't work with the Muse 2, so the newer one that just came out at the end of 2018. It works with the first Muse, but I guess there will be a new version that's going to be updated soon, so it works also on the Muse 2. And so the Muse Monitor, when you save the data as continuous, saves some CSV files which you can send to yourself by email, and then you can directly use this program to visualize them. So you would click on the file, and then this is what would pop up. And here you have the position of your four Muse electrodes, the approximate position on the projection of a 3D brain, which you can rotate like this. And the color indicates the activation of different metric. So this is, before we start, I want to mention this is an art project to actually project the activity in the brain wouldn't be these are not the math that would be used. This would use inverse source localization math, so these are different math here. I just use the proximity of the sensor to colorize the brain, but that's not the correct representation, so that's why it's an art project. And also with 4 electrodes you can't really claim to really represent data on the brain. But so I did that for an art project, for a demo, so I thought I should share it. And so here the Muse Monitor actually saves a lot of information. So you have delta on each of the electrodes. So if you select that, it's going to show some electrodes as black and only this one is active. So these ones don't influence the color of the mesh brain. But you can also select, for instance, all delta. And so this is what's represented here. So now all the electrodes are selected and represents the activity of delta, as well as they represents both the blue trace and the green trace. If we just wanted one trace, we would put none here, and that's fully delta. So if we stop the rotation and we click here, for instance, we can see it's much darker here, which means there's less delta basically. And these are not metric that the Muse Monitor application on your smartphone would calculate. These are metric which are given by the headband itself. And you can see also there's accelerometer, so it wouldn't be relevant to click anything here, but you would see the acceleration on the x-axis, for example. You can see the battery level, etc. And so these are all metric given by the headband. And so the most relevant is to see delta or raw data. So for instance, where's the raw? So here, this is the raw activity for this electrodes. So for instance, this is the blink so the blink would be mostly on the frontal electrodes, but you also, because of volume conduction, they also are reflected on the posterior electrode. And so this allows you to do nice visualization. For instance, you can visualize both delta and alpha. So alpha would be in blue, and delta would be in green. And so here, for instance, we have high alpha and lower delta, and here we both have low delta and low alpha, and you also have the color of each electrode that represent, for instance, this electrode, which is mostly blue, means there is larger alpha than theta. This is just the average of all the electrode. So before I finish, so you can also press the play button, which is going to play a movie, and you can make a movie and save a AVI file. There's a movie that's in the folder, which you can play for your presentation. And mostly you can adapt this program for your specific need. And to do that, I just want to mention a few parameters. So if you type edit Muse brain, there's a couple of parameters you can change. And for example, here, this is green and blue. If you wanted to do red, you would use the first axis of the RGB. This would be red, so you would do red and blue, for instance. This is how much the activity influences the color, so you can put more or less blur around the electrode location. This is the orientation of the starting view. When you do a movie, this is the rotation speed, the rotation amplitude, the number of images per second. This is the gamma ratio. You can also put a low or a high resolution mesh, so you have the choice. And finally, this is the original zoom. For some versions of Matlab, like 2014, I think I had to change that to 2 because the brain was just too big. So it's a Matlab glitch, so you might have to change that. And of course, you can adapt it to your specific need or change the parameter. So thank you for watching.